Hello and welcome to this week's video on improving your English vocab using newspaper headlines. So let's jump straight into it. So this week's headline comes from BBC News. Let's read it together. World food prices rise at fastest pace in a decade. Soaring food prices are likely to fuel concerns about the threat of inflation after the pandemic. So in this video, we're going to look at the verb to rise, the word pace, the adjective soaring, and the expression to be likely to. So first up, to rise. Now, without getting into too much grammar, the verb to rise is an intransitive verb. So this means that it is not followed by an object. So here in our example, inflation is rising by 2.1% a month. On the other hand, the verb to raise is a transitive verb, and this means that it will generally be followed by an object. The government plan to raise taxes. So taxes is the object in our example. So notice the difference between the two different pronunciations, to rise and to raise. So let's take a look at them in some examples. So they have their prices every year since they were founded. Rise or raise? They have raised their prices every year since they were founded. So raised their prices. What about our next example? Jane has, in her company, very quickly and is now CEO. Jane has risen in her company very quickly and is now CEO. No object there after our verb. Okay, next up, the word pace. So pace refers to the speed or the rhythm at which something or someone moves. So in our example here, world food prices rise at fastest pace in a decade. Okay, so this is the rhythm, the speed at which it has been moving in this decade. Some more examples. I don't like the pace of modern life. Modern life is too fast. Could you slow down? I can't keep pace with you. You're moving too fast. Or many people prefer to live at a slower pace. Okay. So now the adjective soaring. Now, from the verb to soar, which generally speaking we use with birds, and this is when they rise high in the air without moving their wings, generally in this sort of movement. Now, in our example, it's to do with rising very quickly to a high level. So here, soaring food prices. So prices, food prices specifically, have soared. So they've gone up very, very quickly. Okay, and this is an expression that we've heard a lot, unfortunately, during the pandemic, for example, with soaring infection numbers. Okay? Now, the expression to be likely to. Now, if something is likely, it will probably happen, or it's expected to happen. Soaring food prices are likely to fuel concerns about the threat of inflation. They will probably fuel concerns about the threat of inflation. So let's look at it in a couple of contexts. So first up, are you to be staying in this evening? Likely, probable, or either could be used here. Well, we would say, are you likely to be staying this evening? This is much more natural than using the word probable or trying to fit in possible into the question. Let's have a look at another one. So, is it likely for the meeting to be postponed, that the meeting will be postponed? So, is it likely that the meeting will be postponed? Okay, so again, likely to be. So, that's all for this week's video. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's useful, and bonus points if you can say rise, raise, rise very quickly. Take care, see you soon.